Good morning, everybody. All right. Boy, I tell you, that first drink of coffee, I I like it. All right. Well, good morning. Welcome once again from the beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, Tyler, Texas. Yes. All right, so we're here at the port. We're gonna pick us up some cars, do a couple little runs, and see what we got ready for today. Welcome once again from the beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, Tyler, Texas. Yes. You like it, give it a thumbs up. You don't, give it a thumbs down, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Get everything I bring when I bring it. Alright? Subscribe, hit that bell notification. Get everything I bring when I bring it. I think I said that. Alright. Comment. It don't cost you nothing to comment. And it does help the channel. Thank you to each and every one of you. All 100 subscribers. And all them that just watch. So share it with your family, share it with your friends, share it with that dog. If you ain't got a dog, share it with that cat. So we know that cat will watch, alright? Alright. Oh. Okay, let's get some cars and get them delivered. Where did this cop car going? They're going way south. Let's see where this cop car going. It's going way south. I've got another cop car. Where's it going? It's also going way south. Okay, we'll go way south. Why not? Don't mind going south. Now, that one's strapped down. jump in here and make sure I shut that motor off. 'Cause I don't want to be out of fuel when I get there. Shut it off, jump out. Get strapped down. I might can get a little car on there. I don't think I'll get another big car. Well, I could possibly get it on there. Let's see. We know this one's going way south. Shut it off. Let's jump out. Boy, we just barely got it on there. All right. Just barely got it on there. Now let's see what we. Oh. What we got here? Where's this one going? But this one, okay. Didn't line up real good, but that's alright. We'll get back down here. And we did it again. The only problem with loading these little cars is if you're not lined up right, it's just not going to work. Because they're barely wide enough for the ramps. All right. grab me a little Beamer. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Up about. Another cop car. Where's it going? Well, it could go right over yonder. Okay, well, we'll grab that. Set it up. We'll jump out. Get it strapped on. Alright, now they're all strapped on. Bring it up. We're all strapped up. Oops. Okay, we'll make that work. And here we go. Now, one thing I have noticed about the game, it likes to take you the farthest away and then work back. We're going to work in reverse of that. We're going to drop off the closest. Because the closest was the last one I loaded. Alright, we're 3.2 tons on the front, on the steers, 4.2, 4.2, 9.2, 10.2 on the back, total 31,000. I'm a little overweight on the back. what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here. We'll jump out. We'll get our fifth wheel, and we'll move it forward some, see if that helps. Alright, let's take a look at it. I guess that'd be alright. We'll circle back around so we get our weights again. And we should be closer to right. Added a little bit to the front, but didn't change the overall back. So yeah, it'll work. It will work. Because it won't be long, we'll have that first car off, so that'll take a lot of weight off the back of the truck trailer. And anybody doing this for the first few times, till you learn where you're going as far as the map goes, it's best to follow your yellow light. But like I said, it takes you to the furthest point and works back. We're not going to do that. And I don't even know this map that well, like my brother does. My brother, he'll say, okay, go to this location. Go to the airport. How do I get there? I'm passing it now, but just for an example. Or go to J&J on the south map or the north map. Which one? Go to the fish market. And I still have to look for it. He pretty well knows the map, but he's been playing longer than I have. Oh, she's heavy. Don't turn too sharp, too quickly. But I can't get that Suburban car on the lower rack. It's just too tall. And even the police car I got on the very front there, the lights will scrape. So it really don't need to be on the bottom either. The one on the back is in the electric police car, and it doesn't have the lights on top, so. But then you gotta watch because it is wide. Alright. Here comes a couple of my trucks. There's a fuel hauler and a fuel hauler. One day I'm going to catch that one truck and jump in it and paint it, because that way I have all my company colors, you know. And I do run black and tan for company colors. Jump out. Come back here. Unstrap it. Drive it. There's the car. Grab the control panel. Right up here, jump in it. And I want you to think about this game. I mean, really think about it. It comes out of South Korea. But the entire game is done by two people. A man and a wife. And as much thought and detail that they put into the game, it's amazing. Nothing short of amazing. There are problems with it, certain little glitches, but you tell them about it, and then they know, and they can go in and correct them. But I just find it very interesting that two people, they ain't like a lot of your bigger games or more known games. Just two people doing what they do. And I'm here to tell you, if you're going to do this, you have to do a lot of you got to have a lot of understanding of computers. I'd never be able to build a game because I don't have the knowledge of computers, and I don't care to. That is a lot of work that I don't really have the wanting to do. Would it be nice? Do I have ideas? Oh yeah. But I don't have the conviction to study it to that depth. But I'm just being honest. Does that make me lazy? Does that make me maybe, maybe not. I'm just not that into computers that I want to know that type of knowledge for. Yeah, okay. You know where I'm coming from. It's a lot like truck driving. Uh, Truck driving. In real life, there's a lot to know. There's a lot to learn. And a lot of what you learn in trucking cannot be learned going to school. A lot of it's practical knowledge of being out there doing it. I have said it before, I'll say it again. The first 3 years on the road as a truck driver, you're just learning. There's a lot of it. It's not like you do this, you do that, and in this situation you can do this or you can do. But until you actually get out there and do it, you don't realize how difficult it can be. And it can get really hairy really fast. And any driver out there who has been on the road 5 or more years will tell you You either know what to do when it happens, or you just hang on and hope for the best. And sadly, more accidents are due to the fact you didn't react quick enough. Not that you reacted wrong, you didn't act quick enough. That's the key. In the few 2-3 seconds sometimes before everything breaks loose can often determine the outcome. And many people, driving trucks have not learned to know the warning signs. That truck will give you warning signs. And they're very subtle warning signs. I think I was supposed to stop back there. Okay, it'll give you very, very subtle warning signs. And if you do not understand those signs, regardless of who you are, it will bite you. It don't jump up with a great big neon sign and say, "Hey, I'm your left steer tire. I'm getting ready to blow." Nah, it ain't gonna do that. But you do know when that tire's gonna blow if you're paying attention to the warning signs. But if you don't know what the warning signs are, you'll miss them. They'll be there, but you'll miss them. All right. Simply because they don't teach that stuff in these truck driving schools. These days, everybody, alright, 98% of them come out of these truck driving schools. I ain't gonna say 100%, but probably a good 98% come out of these truck driving schools, and they don't teach that. They don't teach you what they teach you in these truck driving schools. And I'm talking any truck driving school here in the U.S. That what they do is they teach you to pass the test. Okay? They teach you to pass the test. They do not teach you to drive that truck. Not on a day in, day out basis. Don't get me wrong. They do teach you the basics. But they don't teach you to drive truck. And quite honestly, the biggest part about driving truck is not driving a vehicle. What are you talking about? Well, driving a vehicle's relatively very common for people here in America anyway. But to drive a truck, you get in, you buckle up, you start it up, you throw it in gear and head out. There's a lot more to it. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, if you don't know how to control that vehicle, whatever the vehicle may be, car, truck, bus, plane, mini bike, whatever, and you don't know how to control it in a said emergency that happens to come up, you can't drive. Anybody can jump in there, throw it in gear and make it go. Okay? That's not driving. What driving is knowing what to do when something does go wrong. And know that something's going wrong before it actually goes wrong. And of course I'm saying all this after I hit a mailbox the day before yesterday. Things happen. Things happen. But that's why we call them accidents. And the biggest accident out there is putting people in a semi after just a few short 8 or 10 weeks. Most of it's 4 weeks. And even at 8 or 10 weeks, you still really don't have the experience to deal with the truck going nuts on you. You're going down a hill or up a hill. On a flat, it's not so bad. It can be. But you're going up a hill or down a hill, and you start losing air pressure. And you can't build it up, it's not built. What do? Well, that's very simple. You start pumping your brakes a little bit. No, it's not building. Okay. It's not building. Well, without air pressure, I've got mere seconds, often not even a minute, to understand what's going on and rectify it. Well, if I can't get the truck to build air, and it's losing there. I'm going to get that truck shut down as quickly and safely as I can. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. But from the very second it starts acting up, I've got 1 minute at the best. Okay, at best, I got 1 minute to diagnose and get that truck stopped. Don't worry about diagnosing it. Get the truck stopped. Even if you gotta stop in a traveling lane, get that truck stopped as quick and safe as you can at 50 mile an hour. At 50 mile an hour, it's going to take you roughly 30 seconds to 40 seconds just to get the truck stopped. Okay? Just to get the truck stopped. So, let's say it takes you the 40 seconds. You've got 20 seconds to understand what's going on and bring that vehicle to a stop. And at 50 miles an hour, you have done traveled close to a quarter mile, at least an eighth, but closer to a quarter of a mile in the time it took you to realize you had a problem. And while you're trying to stop it, you figure another quarter mile getting it stopped at 50 miles an hour. At 50 miles an hour, it'd take you about an eighth of a mile to get stopped. Or the equivalent of 2 base football fields. At 65 miles an hour, the phone rings. At 65 miles an hour, every 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, you have done traveled at least a third of a mile. At least. Between a quarter and a third. At 60 miles an hour. And people don't look at that. We all know it. Each and every one of us. We've been taught that since the middle school. But in a panic emergency situation, everybody reacts differently, and you can't act differently. You just gotta flat make it happen. And I mean yesterday. It's not as easy as it looks. And then, on top of all that, you've got the traffic. And people who drive their cars and have never drove a big truck don't know how to act around a big truck. Okay? You've never drove them, you don't know. You can speculate, but you don't know. Okay? Just no way to know. That's like me. An airplane. I've played enough simulation games. I've got an idea of what to do. But I have no practical experience flying a real plane. I would just be guessing at best. Because a simulation game of any type is not exactly the same in a real world situation. And if you're in a situation where seconds matter, you're in a world of hurt. Personally, I think there ought to be a new law passed. I think anybody who is coming of age and is in a position to receive their driver's license, etc., ought to be required to take 6 months and sit in the rider's seat of a big rig. If that driver's awake, you're awake. Not sitting over there catnapping again a window. Driver's up, you're up. The driver eats, you eat. The driver sleeps, you sleep. The whole 9 yards. And people have a better understanding from the word go. But they're not going to do that. So you ain't got to think about that because they're not going to do it. But they ought to. And the laws and the rules, oh, don't get me started on all those. The laws and the rules on a truck driver are 10 times that of anybody driving a passenger car. You know, if I got a broke tail lamp that's out, a clearance light that is out, not always, but I can and often do receive a ticket for that. Well, the company does. And if I'm an owner or operator, that makes me the company. I've got my logbooks have to be up to date. Anymore, they got these electronic logs, and you can't cheat them. You just can't. Paper logs, you can cheat sometimes. I ran paper logs. But when they started this here computerized thing as a mandatory thing, I was no longer driving at that point. I was driving when it was optional, but I'd gotten hurt before that. Anyway, Can't cheat those logs. Them logs will bite you in the backside real quick. And these computer logs, I mean, they're like, the guy pull over, you're out of time. I'm sorry. There is no computer nowhere that can tell me when I'm tired, when I'm not tired, when I'm hungry, when I gotta go to the restroom, when I this no computer can do that. They've got so many laws and regulations on big trucks that it is not feasible for a man to run independent these days. Used to be you could, but do you know any truck, every truck you see on the road has at least $1 million worth of insurance. At least. And that's a requirement. Now, I'll leave the premiums up to you on that. But can you imagine paying them premiums every month? Oh boy. Well, we got 8.5 miles to go. And I'm going to put this on auto drive. And I'm going to take my wife a cup of coffee and I'll be right back. Thank you very much for sticking with me. Those of you who have, I am back. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are just not taught in truck driving schools. And with their time restraints, you know, they kick a new one off every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks. Most of them's about 2 weeks. And kick you out the door. It's all about the money. It's not about the safety. It's all about how much money they can make. They don't care about the safety. They don't care if you get a job. They don't care if you go out there and wreck and kill people or not. They just after the money. They teach you just enough to pass the test, and the rest is up to you. So, Yes, I'm not a very big fan of truck driving schools, but it is getting to a point. If you ain't went to a truck driving school, you can't even get in a truck hardly anymore. I can remember back when my daddy drove. He started driving trucks around in the yard, moving trucks and trailers, and doing all of it in the yard. And then one day the boss man said, "Hey, uh, you're doing pretty good. You think you can take this over there?" "Yeah, I can do that." Daddy jumped in the truck and did it. And shortly thereafter went and got his license and started driving truck. Uh, them days are gone. Can't quite do that no more. You get caught driving a truck without a CDL, your name goes on a list and you won't be able to legally get a commercial license for at least 2 years. I think it is. As well as paying a hefty fine and possible jail time. It's not worth it, or not to me it ain't. Not to me it ain't. And not all rules of the road go for all truck drivers. Certain truck drivers have certain restrictions. Certain truck drivers, depending on freight, whatever that freight may be, can differ from the next driver. Just on freight. I'm not going to get into all that because that gets real deep real quick and throws a lot of red flags to people who do not understand fully what I'm saying before I say it. And unless you've been in trucking any real amount of time, even truckers who have been in the business for 5-7 years, a lot of them don't know. Every truck, every freight out there has a criteria that needs to be met. And one over the other may get benefits that the other one doesn't. I'm not going to get into it real deep, but I want to say this. You take a cattle hauling trailer. You know they don't stop at way stations? No. You know they don't worry about passing a police officer at 75 mile an hour on a 60 mile an hour road. It don't bother them. The cop ain't going to touch them. And they know it. The cops know it and the drivers know it. But other drivers who have never been in that situation often do not know it. And anybody who's not in the industry just don't understand it to start with. But there's a reason for it. Unless that driver is just totally all over the road, got lights out that shouldn't be out, etc., etc. It's visibly apparent that there's vehicle problems, or the driver is not handling it properly, they'll pull them over. But other than that, they don't care. They're not allowed to care. Because you are talking, they are transporting live animals. And they've got a said window of about 6 hours. 5 to 6 hours to get that cattle where it's going. Because the cattle get restless, start walking around, which will affect the handling of the vehicle, the safety of the cattle. They will trample on top of each other, break legs, all kind of things could happen that are not good. So they like to get these cattle on and off these trucks as quickly as possible. So therefore, they don't really pay. Now, if he's doing 100 mile an hour in a 50 mile an hour zone, yeah, they're going to say something. But if he's doing 70 and a 50, they're most likely going to let him go. Killer cats out there talking. Yeah, so, you know, gasoline trucks, they have their own set of rules. Do you know, I'm hauling fuel, and I've done it before. You hauling fuel, you can't smoke. I've got to be at least 100 feet away from that truck before I can light a cigarette or whatever. 100 feet. Or approximately 45 strides, which is about the same. I can't smoke in the cab because the fumes can travel. Think about it. You're driving a loaded bomb. Do you really want flame around it? Because them fumes get ignited. Boy, that's one big bomb, I'm telling you. Certain things in a dry box, certain makeups, mascaras and such cannot be hauled with other makeup. A lot of you didn't know that. One kind of makeup can't be with the other kind of makeup because of the chance of explosion and or fire of some sort. A lot of you didn't even know that. I bet you there's a lot of drivers out there that don't know that because not every driver has that situation. So yeah, man, I can sit here and talk 5 or 10 hours on different aspects of driving a truck that is not taught in driving schools and not repeat the same one. And quite honestly, we got 1.2 miles to go. And I'm happy with that because I'm starting to run out of things to talk about that it's not going to take a great deal of time explaining. But if you have any questions that you have not found answers to about the trucking industry, hit me up. If I don't know it, I'll look it up and I'll tell it to you. I'll do that at no charge. Besides, it gives my old brain something to do other than play games. Because I am going to drink my coffee regardless. Well, we've got 2,200 feet to go, people. We're just about there. I'm not sure if they're all going to the exact same spot or not, but we will find out. It's quite possible that they're all going right here. Because that's what I thought, but I'm not 100%. But I believe they are. deck and get these cards off. Come back for the next one. Sometimes getting into these upper cars are a little tricky, especially when they're as wide as this one is. Okay. Sometimes you got to figure it out. Sometimes it could be tricky. There, we got it. Had to bounce all over the place to find it, but I finally got in it. One more. Move to driver's seat. Close. Alright, they give me a pretty good payday. Of course, you can drive a fire truck. I'm going to put this gate up and I'm going to go get me some more. Alright. X. Tilt up. Now, when we get back, we will be at the port picking up cars. But, for now, y'all be careful. Y'all be kind. May God bless you and keep you.